What's up, everybody? This is Killer Arcade Games. I'm back with another one of these classic gaming magazine slash strategy guide videos. Still not sure how well this is going to go. Still not sure if I like the format of this video, but we're going to try it out anyway. I've got here a copy of a GamePro magazine from March 1995, and you know why I have it. Obviously, Killer Instinct is on the cover. I used to have a subscription to GamePro magazine. I loved getting GamePro. I had it for years and years and years, and I guess I used to save them all, and I guess my mom and dad just threw them away when I moved out, but that's alright. So, let's look at this one. We're going to check this one out today. I may be trying a different style of video for this. There is a website that has all these scanned, and they're a little bit easier to see, so maybe we'll be doing it in that way in the future, but this feels really nostalgic to have the real thing. And I think that's what I'm kind of going for on this video. So let's dive right into it. First page, we've got a Kirby's Avalanche ad, which is interesting. Never even played that game. I'm going to blow through some of this because, you know, we just don't need to see every last bit of it. But please let me know in the comments if you saw something that was interesting to you that I did not really cover. Right here we have Road Rash 3. I'm assuming that's for, looks like a console ad, but let's keep moving. GamePro, look at this. All the fine people who worked on this magazine right there, just to give them a shout out. Hopefully this doesn't violate any rules. You know, it's so difficult with YouTube nowadays. I'm just doing this as a fan. I'm not trying to like give away their work, which is no longer for sale anyway, but let's see what we got in this magazine. Obviously, I'm most excited about Killer Instinct, the cover feature of this magazine. I even have this guide. I have it in two places. I did manage to save this guide. It's in this magazine as well. I bought this one on eBay. But I do have the guide inside ripped out of the magazine that I somehow managed to keep that. We're definitely going to want to take a look at the NBA Jam Tournament Edition. So let's keep moving. I'm going to try not to slow this down too much. Pro reviews. I love the reviews in GamePro magazines. My favorite by far. So we're going to look at those for sure. And here we go. This is the listener mail, or not the listener, the reader mail stuff. So we could be there all day. Let's just keep moving. Oh man, look at that. When Systems Collide, the Super Game Boy. I actually forgot about that. Just in case you wanted to play super grainy versions of your game on TV. I had one of those, and I don't really know why I had it. I think when you're a kid, sometimes you just be like, I need to have this stuff. And you would just buy it up, or your parents would buy it for you. Which, by the way, one thing I love about their reviews is they typically show the price of games. And you think games are expensive now. Games were very expensive back then. Hot at the arcades. Here we go. This is an arcade channel, so we got to take a little pit stop here. Virtua Fighter 2 was hot at the arcades back then. Let's try to get some screenshots here so you guys can see it. You know, I never really played 2 now that I think about it. I played it a little bit probably, but I was never really into the Japanese fighting games, as you guys know. But, you know, still cool. Oh, by the way, I love the names. Bruised Lee is the name of the writer. I love the fake names, which is kind of interesting because when these people went on to get other jobs, they probably would be like, I was Bruised Lee, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, but there we go. We got a huge ad for whatever on earth the heck this is. What is this? Gold Star. I don't remember this. Oh, 3DO. Is it a 3DO? Why is that? I don't remember it being, oh, it is a 3DO. I don't remember it being called Gold Star. Very weird. Never had a 3DO, though. I wasn't cool enough. Virtual Places. Okay. The Virtual Boy leads Microsoft's foray into virtual reality. Man, I never had one of these. And I was jealous at first until I found a store display. And I was like, oh, I don't need one of these. You guys will have to let me know in the comments if you had one and if you actually enjoyed it. It sounded so cool. It sounded so futuristic. It just, the execution just was not there. I remember trying it at like store displays at Target or Toys R Us. I can't remember what store, but look at that weird controller. You know, the 64, in my opinion, was a good console. I loved the 64. I don't know what was up with this. And obviously it didn't do very well. Here we go. The main event. Look at this beautiful thing. So part of the reason I love these old magazines is they got hold of cool art. They have screenshots of the games, stuff that was mind-blowing back in the day. I hope you guys will be able to read this. You can probably pause the video and read some stuff. But Ultra 64 progress report. GamePro asks, what's the status of the Ultra 64 home system? George Zachary says the hardware design is complete and Silicon Graphics has hit all of its engineering milestones as far as designing the chips and the low-level system software Now Nintendo will build the prototypes. So, I remember reading this, because as you know, Killer Instinct, this beautiful arcade machine, will tell you available for your home in 1995 only on Nintendo Ultra 64. That was dropped. And really, that never happened. And I was very disappointed because I was so excited. The arcade game was teasing me. I was like, I need to have this at home. It only took, 30 years, and I finally have it at home. But anyway, a little less than 30 years for me. But yeah, so when they teased it, I was so excited. I remember reading all this, being like, oh, this is amazing. Is the Ultra 64 going to be CD, or going CD like Saturn and PlayStation? And they reply with, the Ultra 64 is a 64-bit cartridge system, which, I'm not knocking it. I hate to get off on a tangent here, but I remember the 64 getting a lot of crap and being like, oh, it can only hold so much information, but there were no load times, which, as an arcade fan, I preferred the 64 versions of games because I didn't have to sit around and wait for a loading time. It took me right out of the experience when there was loading on the screen of arcade ports. By the way, look at this art. I love the view of these, 3D rendered characters. I mean, I know these files exist, but they're not super high res, and maybe they never were, but if anybody has stuff like this image, things like that in high quality, please email me. I would love to talk to you about that. Jaguar, or Jaguar, whatever. I never had one of these either. We can move on. Wow, I know there's more to that Killer Instinct. Oh, there's a guide later. We'll get to that too. Okay, here we go with the reviews. I don't care that much about Sega Saturn, but Virtua Fighter was a good game, and I believe it was a pretty much arcade-perfect port. And since we're not going to read all of these, I just like to point these out because it was so cool. I loved their review system. It was very simple, very easy for a lazy kid like me who didn't want to read it all the time. Graphics were a 5 out of 5, sound was a 5 out of 5, controls a 4 out of 5, and fun factor 4 out of 5. Price was not available there, but very cool. I loved their reviews for that reason. They just had a nice, simple, straightforward. If you didn't want to read it, oh wow, this is still in here. Look at this gem. Man, 12 issues was $19.97. No wonder my parents never complained. Look, he's at least going to read something in it. I can't believe that's still in this magazine. So, I don't know. What are we looking at here? Oh, overseas previews. We can keep moving for now because I could be here all day. Here we go. Another full page. Please send me 1 year of GamePro. And I can tell you, if I could go back and get all the issues for a year for this price, that'd be great, because I think I paid about this much with shipping just for this magazine, which is another reason, if these videos do well, I don't think I'll be able to buy every single one. We may have to go digital. Thankfully, there is a website that people have preserved all of these. Every single GamePro is scanned in high quality and easy to read. It's pretty awesome. Here we go. We have Ridge Racer, the original Ridge Racer. The Sony PlayStation plays for keeps. Super cool. I wasn't a huge PlayStation 1 fan. To be perfectly honest with you, I've never been a huge PlayStation fan in general. I've tried. I don't know what it is. It's a great console, don't get me wrong. Sony has done a great job being competitive, but I've never really been into it. Maybe the PS2 was my favorite. I played a lot there. Just never could get into it. I don't know what it was, but let's check out the review. We have the Ridge Racer review. Looks like it turned out pretty well. No surprise there. Wow, I need to cut my nails. It's embarrassing. No surprise there, but yeah. I haven't cut my nails in a few days, guys. Sorry. I want to see some prices, especially the... okay, these are all previews. Especially for the cost of, the cartridge-based games. They are stunningly expensive. Is this... Weapon Lord? On location. I don't remember this game, Weapon Lord. You guys will have to let me know in the comments if you remember them. I'm tempted to stop this video and cut my nails. Let's keep moving, though. Don't hate on me too much. I'll cut them before the next one, that's for sure. Look at this. GamePro's Hot Picks. I used to have that somewhere. And it's so sad. I had so many of these guides. I loved them so much. They were like art pieces to me in a weird way. I would keep them. I don't know where it went. A lot of them probably got thrown out. My parents tossed a lot, which sucks. Here we go. NBA Jam Tournament Edition. I remember getting this cabinet. I remember getting this game, and I remember feeling like, this is amazing. It feels so much like the arcade on the Super Nintendo. I was a Genesis kid for a while, then I got a Super Nintendo, and oh man, that just stepped up the game for feeling like I was in an arcade. What I would do is take the arcade, or the game box, keep it in good condition, and put it on top of the TV when I was playing it, almost like it was the marquee. Huge arcade nerd, even as a little kid. Scary Larry gives it good reviews. The sound, though, what happened with the sound? Not quite as good, but take a look at that price, $74.95. Isn't that bananas? This is the Super Nintendo price. Now the Genesis is over here. This is that review. Didn't do quite as well. I mean, I guess it's close. It's for some reason not quite as fun, but only $64.95. I do recall these being outrageously expensive. I remember getting MK2 and it was like $80. I was like, holy crap. I remember feeling bad for my mom because I remember her going like, what? I think it might have even been 90. It was at Electronics Boutique or EB Games. I guess back then it was just Electronics Boutique. I don't really care about Death and Return of Superman, but apparently they didn't like it. Just okay, let's say that. Alright, we are not even halfway through this thing. I gotta keep moving. We're gonna skip some stuff. Oh, the poor Genesis. The Itchy and Scratchy game. Did not even recall that being a game. But look here. Whew, not good. I love the faces though. It's like, I'm kind of falling asleep. This game sucks. Love it. Oh, and there's another one here. I didn't even notice. Stone protectors. That's my job all day. Protect my stones. Pitfall. This one did pretty well. Let's see if we got a price. We do have a price. It's a CD-based game, and it is like last generation current console game pricing, which is nuts when you think about it. Because sure, these games, the physical games especially, like the NBA Jam, came on a cartridge. It had a PCB in it. All that stuff. I get why it was more expensive. These are CD-based games. They were probably making a massive profit. You consider how much, not arcade games cost to make nowadays, millions upon millions of dollars, and they still are just now like, okay, we're just now going to start charging you $70 for a game, but that's funny to me. Look at this awesome ad. Nothing can prepare you, or your 32X. I messed that up. Ruined it. Look at that. Unleash Johnny Cage's Shadow Kick. Let's look at that a little closer. Super cool. God, I mean, these were just such exciting times. Maybe because I was a kid and gaming was new, but I still to this day prefer this kind of gaming. These shorter, more contained experiences. That's why I love arcade cabinets. It's like a whole experience inside of one giant box, and that's all you get out of it. And it's kind of cool. Like, they built an entire piece of furniture around a video game, and I thought that was so awesome back then. Slam City, never heard of this game. We're not even going to give it much time. Sega CD did okay. The controls were not good. The fun factor was okay, and it was a $60 game, man. Sega CD kind of... Oh, with Scottie Pippen. Oh, my God. I guess Jordan was real busy. He's like, I'm not touching that turd. Yeah, the Sega CD was cool, but really the coolest thing about it was it can play full motion video. And I was like, all right. I didn't... Even as a kid, I was like, this isn't really... The novelty wears off quickly, even though I still stare at Killer Instinct, the arcade cabinets, and be like, wow, it's full motion video, even in 2024. Radical Rex, I don't know what that is, got mediocre reviews. Nova Storm, decent reviews. Don't know what that is, though. Oh, here we go, the NBA Jam sweepstakes. Now you're on fire. Look at that, grand prize, trip for two to a 1995 NBA Finals game. You get to be a secret character in an Acclaim video game. So it doesn't say which video game. I'm assuming it would mean... I don't know. I'm assuming it would mean like maybe NBA Jam. It had a lot of them. So I really hope somebody happens to see this video or knows somebody who won this thing. If you won this and you were one of these people who won any of these prizes, please leave me a comment. I never knew anyone who won, of course. We didn't have the internet to be like, hey, this dude said he won. Oh my God. Because I remember these things like this. The 3 first prizes, you literally get an NBA Jam Tournament Edition arcade game. That's insane. Those things sold for like $3,000 or $4,000 back in those days. Crazy. 50-second prizes, NBA backboard, NBA sweatshirt, basketball encyclopedia, wow, and an NBA, oh, whatever. You get a music video. But look here, so it maybe makes me wonder, if you get the grand prize, do you win all this too? Because personally, I would win the grand prize and be like, that sounds really cool, but I want an arcade game. That would have been me as a kid. All right, moving on. Underwear. A bunch of super quick Sega CD. I don't even know these games. Hold on. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. The Misadventures of... I'm not even going to read them all. This one did not do very well. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, A Second Cataclysm. Not very good. We're going to move on, though, but look at this. Talk about nostalgia right here. A Blockbuster ad. Video games like underwear, you get attached to the good ones, but eventually you have to change them. God, I miss Blockbuster. I'm sure it'll come back. I'm certain it's going to come back one day. Like, with everything just kind of keeps coming back. Vinyl's back, CDs are coming back, tapes. Eventually, you're going to go to a store, and you are going to pick up a card that is going to allow you to go to iTunes or one of these streaming services and watch a video. You don't get to keep the video, you take it back. They're going to find a way to pull it off, or maybe it'll just be physical stuff again. I don't know. Corpse Killer, I don't know this game. 32X. This was the time of like a lot of obscure consoles popping up. No prices on that one, but moving on. There's so many games in here that I don't even recall. I guess they were not very memorable. Jurassic Park 2. This is Super Nintendo reviews, also Scary Larry. So here's a Super Nintendo game. It is $59.99. 12 megs. I always like that it would point that out for you. Pretty cool. Looney Tunes B-Ball. You have the balls to charge $69.99 for Looney Tunes B-Ball. Wow. 16 megs, though. I don't really know what that means because I don't think it means megabytes. I can't remember how that works out, but I don't believe it actually means megabytes. We have the Flintstones. Decent reviewed game. I do like they would show the challenge. Intermediate, adjustable, which I thought most games were adjustable. Never heard of this game. Metal Morph. Enough is enough. Moving on. Time Cop. Oh, not good reviews on Time Cop. Price not available. Street Hockey, which looks like Street Fighter-esque font, which maybe was used to hopefully trick people. Doesn't look like a very good game, and it did not get the best reviews. Whew. Let's see what else. Scary. Oh, Serenade. That's a name I have not seen yet. By Serenade. Pretty awesome. Hopefully actually a woman, not just a guy coming up with a fancy name. Biker Mice from Mars. What on earth is that? Who wants to play that game? But apparently it got good reviews. Maybe it was a good game. I don't know. Oh boy. Home Improvement. Ho hum. Tool B or not Tool B. Good work there, Scary Larry. 3.5 on graphics. By the way, the 0.5s, if you get, I'm sure you guys know this, but if you get a 0.5, see the 3 is just the face. The 0.5 gives you a little thumbs up next to it. Pretty funny. Uniracers. Never played that game. Never heard of that game. I did hear of Top Gear 3000. I remember something similar. Pretty sure Top Gear came out also on the 64, which I played, and it was not very good there, if I remember correctly. $69.99 for that cartridge. That is a whopping 8 meg, so it's not even like it had super high-end stuff in it, or, you know, like it needed a lot of space. But anyway, here's a bunch of quick reviews. I will just tell you what, I'm going to just leave it here. Set back. Hopefully you can pause it, review it, zoom in on it, whatever. Beavis and Butthead is on there. I did have that game. I remember thinking, it wasn't terrible, but I remember thinking this game should be better because I love Beavis and Butthead. And it was just kind of okay. Oh, we're getting to the Killer Instinct guide. Let's just look really quickly. One Neo Geo review by Captain Squidio? Captain Squidio. All right. Got decent reviews. It's a whopping 110 megs. So I've seen a few Neo Geo games in these magazines that are outrageously expensive. Hundreds of dollars. I never had a Neo Geo system. I don't really know. I thought maybe like the arcade pricing. I really don't know. It's nuts how much those are. But here we go. This is what I still have. I hole punched it. I somehow got it out of the magazine pretty smoothly. Hole punched it and put it into a binder. I even made photocopies of it and would sell them at the arcade. Sorry, GamePro, don't sue me after the fact. But I would literally do that. Sell the copies there. People would be like, oh my god, how'd you do that combo? How do you know that move? And I'd be like, oh, I've got this. Like, oh, where did you get that? Tell you what, I've got a copy. That'll be $250, or you can pay me in tokens. It was awesome. And I would get to play the games longer. So thank you, GoPro, for that. Sorry I technically pirated some of your stuff back in the day. Don't sue me now. It's a pretty good one. I love the fact that they chose the arcade. That's probably the only version they had available. But this was a pretty good guide. Like, not super in-depth. Oh, here's the poster that comes with the magazine. Not super in-depth, but, you know, it really kind of broke down the system. It's not going to give you a ton of huge combos to do. There's a huge pitfall, I guess, poster. Not going to rip that out. It's kind of cool it's still in there. But yeah, here we go. We got special techniques, special moves, no mercies. Gives you 2 combos, I think, per character, which is cool. I'm just going to kind of slowly but quickly go through this also. No Mercy #1. They didn't have names for them. I don't know if there are official names or if they just make them up or whatever, but it's so cool. I really don't understand also, nobody's ever been able to answer this yet. How did they capture footage from an arcade cabinet back then? You know, things were not as simple as they are now where you can just hook up a USB, get a capture card. That stuff, as far as I know, didn't exist. Had to be a way to do it because magazines did it all the time. Maybe you guys know. Yeah, I loved it though. I loved all the stats. These are on the arcade too, so they kind of just take the story out of the arcade and put it in the magazine so you can sit there and just read it, even though I didn't really care that much. I just thought it was the coolest stuff. I'd look at this and be like, God, I want to go to the arcade. I got to learn how to do some of these moves so I can go show off at the arcade. And it was the best feeling at the time. I remember being so excited. Going to the arcade was the highlight for me. I would do chores to make money to get, actually looking back, I've said this before, looking back, I know it was my mom being like, yes, yes, vacuum the house and then get the hell out of here. That's what that was. But she made it sound like, vacuum the house, you're doing me a huge favor, here's $10, go away. But yeah, oh, the endings, I did like this. Were there more over here? Did I skip it? No, okay. So yeah, they show the character endings. Again, screenshots. They kind of break down the ending, I believe. I don't know if these are ripped directly from the text. Sorry. I'm not bored, I swear. Or not, but whatever. SWAT Pro ad, by the way, I only ever had maybe 1 or 2 of these. I would just buy them if something looked interesting, but I never really got into those. And that's all for the Killer Instinct guide. We got a 3DO Pro review. This game got good reviews. This is Road and Track presents The Need for Speed. Is this like the... Oh, look at that face. Is this like the original Need for Speed that I've never heard of or something? But good reviews. Almost perfect all the way across the board. 5.55 and 4.5. So that's cool. Good for 3DO. Another 3DO review. The controls were not good, but the rest had amazing graphics. Oh, this is a Star Wars game. Rebel Assault. There we go. So it probably had lots of clips from the game, which, you know, Lady Cag might have been interested in. But she did not have a 3DO, I know that. I don't think she ever had a gaming console growing up. She always have to mess with her friends' and relatives' ones. Pitfall. Moving on. Okay, I'm not going to go through all these 3DO reviews. The Lost Files of Sherlock Holmes. None of these games look exciting. Family Feud. Hey, got good reviews too. $60 for that game. Man, they were charging some cash for games back then. Especially back then. If I remember while editing this, I'll try to remember to put the inflation calculator, get it figured out what it would cost by today's standards. Jaguar. I like to say it like that, from Cartman. All right. Because, you know, people get mad if you just say Jaguar. It's a Jaguar. It's a Jaguar. Anyway. I don't remember ever seeing a single Jaguar game where I was like, I've got to have it. Got to have it. So I think that was probably the case for a lot of people. CDI. I don't even remember what CDI was. Is that a console? You guys will have to remind me. I'm like drawing a blank on this. Sports page. I was never a big sports guy unless Blitz or, you know, NBA Jam was in there or something. But, you know, these are not great reviewed. Look at that. Fila. What an ad. Both feet on their competition. Yeah, my shoes ate some Nikes the other day. It was pretty crazy. Here's another CDI's Hall of Fame. I don't know what CDI is. CD Interactive, I assume. I just can't remember what CDI is. Jaguar. We're just going to move through these because, oh boy, some of these are not great reviewed either. Be interesting to find the worst reviewed GamePro game ever. Final Fantasy III. Oh my god. I never was aware of Final Fantasy until about Final Fantasy VII. When that huge, like, 3-pack PlayStation version came out, I was like, oh, wow, that's a weird game. Never got into it. I don't like the turn-based stuff. It seems boring to me. I never, ever could do it. It looked cool. Couldn't do it. Sorry, guys. Hate me if you want. Brandish. All right, I'm getting bored now. I am going to start yawning. GamePro, or Game Boy, sorry. Game Boy Wario Blast. You know, Game Boy typically was actually a really good system. I can't give it too much crap. For the hardware and for what they had, it was a good one. None of these games really interest me, though. Moving on. Game Gear. Kawasaki Superbike Challenge. These were $34, $39.99, right? I don't know, it's hard. I have to have the light kind of low in here or you get a big glare on it. Itchy and Scratchy game. It's back. Ooh, the sound is just... I haven't seen the sleepy face. Oh, you probably can't see it very well. I haven't seen the sleepy face one probably ever. I don't recall ever seeing that. That dude's just out. Oh, the X-Band. Wait, what? X-Band is like computer dating. We automatically connect you with someone who wants to take you out. That was a good ad. I like that. This was one of those things that I was like, I don't get how this works. Never had one. I was a lucky kid. My parents or my friends always thought I was rich because my parents ran the business that I now run out of their house. And we were very, like, it's not a big house, like 1,000 square foot house, but they ran it out of there. And we ended up having 3 dedicated phone lines. So I was like the coolest kid ever. I was like, yeah, I could be on the internet all day, buddy. But still never had one of these. All right, SWAT Pro. I'm just going to keep going. I don't even know. These are just cheat codes. Oh, another ad. Look at that. That's really cool. I guess that's some fan art they just squeezed in right there. Guys, 12 issues, $12. I don't remember Electronic Entertainment at all, though. I know EGM. I had that. I've never heard of that. I don't recall that magazine at all. All right, more cheats. This is like, oh, the game enhancers. I did have a Game Genie back in the day. Very cool idea, just never really... You know, sometimes the cheats would like break the game, and it was not really for me. Fighter's Edge. Oh, wow, we have Primal Rage. I didn't even realize this was in here. So it's more like another ad, not an ad, guide for Primal Rage. I should probably hang on to this, because I do not know hardly any moves in Primal Rage. Outrageous 9-hit combo. Pretty cool. This is like, I guess, custom art? I don't know. Oh, wait. Runners Up. What is this for? Let's see if it says. Did I miss it? Somebody from Odessa, Texas won. Not that it's anywhere near me. Texas is so darn big. Yeah, I don't know what the heck this is for. So, oh, here we go. The combo contest. Okay, so people came up, I guess, submitting combos. Runners up are here. First prize. Are there names on it? Yeah, here we go. Eric Kramer from Chattanooga. Man, if any of you guys see this, let me know. This would be so cool to like hear how this all worked out for you. Let's see. Oh, that's it. All right. But we got the runners up over here if you guys want to... Hold on. There's a glare. If you want to pause and have a look at it. If you guys know any of these people, let us know. It's pretty interesting. GamePro Labs, a player's guide to peripherals. Man, I never really got too deep into peripherals. Some fight sticks, couple racing wheels, anything that could give me that arcade feel at home. And let's look at this. All right. This is like I guess this is a company that would sell you... I assume they were used games. I don't know. Even if they were new or used, look at these prices. Revolution X, $61. Shaq Fu, $57. Terrible game, too. So I'm assuming these had to be like used cartridges and all that. Is Mortal Kombat on there? Yeah, MK2 is $67. That has to be used because I remember the price being outrageously high. Crazy how much that cost. Buyers beware section. This is an interesting one. Let's read this one. Well, this is pretty long, but let's read it just for fun. I purchased Mortal Kombat 2 for the SNES. I noticed that the small plastic cover that usually fits over the open part of the cartridge wasn't included. I called Nintendo and was told that if I wanted one, I could purchase it for $1 at any authorized service center. I think this is awful. John R. Body from Bronx, New York. I don't remember the plastic covers, but I do remember it now that they say it. I think it's that little piece that came at the bottom of them. It's true. Those plastic covers will not be included with the new SNES games. Sally Revis, looks like Beavis with an R, corporate communications assistant manager from Nintendo, explains that the company is trying to reduce packaging. So they were doing this stuff back then, doing the Apple move of, hey, you don't need a charger. Why would you need a charger? The phone runs on battery. Just hope it runs till you're done with it. She says they're trying to reduce packaging, help keep NES. Sorry. The Game Pack sleeves were originally created to help keep NES games clean. Oh, I remember those. Those kind of like vinyl feeling, like plasticky sleeves. I do remember that. They no longer provide the protection, blah, blah, blah. But this is an interesting one. This is like where people are complaining and they would get you answers. Kind of like your local news. I'm sure you have that local news, the troubleshooters or whatever. I know we have that here and it makes me laugh. Oh, cool. CES. Okay, so here we go. We have Mortal Kombat 2 being seen on the 32X. Hopefully you guys can read that. There we go. So if you want to stop and take a look at some of this. Super cool. What I might do is include a link also. God, I hope I'm not remembering or saying I'm going to do this and forget. Maybe include a link to this on the website that scans them. Include a link to this actual episode or guide, not episode, or magazine. I'm sorry, issue, where you guys can go look at it in higher quality. But as of now, this is what we've got. I just thought it was pretty cool. Bust a Move, man, that was a good game. I remember the sound effects. I remember hearing them throughout the arcade. So I think we're pretty much done here. Oh, lowest game prices in the universe. We've got Michael Jordan video game. I guess that was just a game. Street Fighter 2. He is pretty low. Wow. I'll bet they were in terrible shape. I'll bet like they had the... Remember when you get the Super Nintendo cartridge that was used and like either the color was worn off on the image or it was just like it got wet and it was just gone. Reader's Choice Award. Yeah. So you can vote. Whoa. Wait a minute. We've got movie stars Kylie Minogue as Cammy and Grand Bush as Balrog. I always want to call him Barlog after the typo. With contest winner George Ferguson. So I guess some people do win. Here, let me get old George. Let me get him his close-up. Yeah, so some people win this stuff, apparently. I never knew anyone who won. Oh, here we go. This is cool. The Blockbuster Video March Hot Sheet. That's a terrible thing to mess up. This is from 1995. The most, I'm just going to go with the top three. The top three rented games on NES was Wario Woods, TMNT, Tournament Fighters, I don't remember that at all, Mega Man 6, Super Nintendo had Donkey Kong Country, a fantastic game, I love that game, The Lion King, Lady Cag enjoyed that one, Wolverine, Adamantium Rage, Genesis had Lion King, WWF Raw, in Madden, NFL 95, and Sega CD, I don't even know why that's included, Slam City with Scottie Pippen, Corpse Killer, and NBA Jam Session. Super cool. All right, CES. Oh, look at that. A Nintendo 64 update. Wow. I'm going to kind of just try to slowly go over it so you can see. Man, talking about GoldenEye. Moving on. Oh, this was great because you get to see the prices again. I think these are all used pricing, but look at that. Pretty crazy. Let's see this one. MK2 on the 32X, 62 bucks. You know, it's kind of reasonable. All right, I think that's all. One final ad. I had this. Is this the ASCII or whatever they call it? It looks, okay, it's similar to what I had, but not quite. Had to have that for playing Killer Instinct at home. Mine was similar, but it wasn't that exact one. I had a couple of them. I even had one until recently, until I got the real machines, or first I got the arcade one-ups that I turned into MAME machines, and then I got that the real arcades. But yeah, so there you have it. This video went on quite long. I hope that this is something that interests you guys, and if it is, let me know in the comments. I'll keep doing them. I may not always do them, like I said, on the actual real magazine, but I can actually do the scans, which you might be able to get a better view of anyway. So, I hope you guys enjoyed it. A little walk down memory lane all the way back to March 1995. $4.95 for this magazine, by the way. Not a bad price. I remember being so excited. I'd go to the grocery store with my mom. I hated going. I was so excited, though, to see the new GamePro, even though I probably had already gotten it in the mail, but just in case, if I saw a cool magazine, I'd be like, Mom, can I please get this magazine? She almost always said yes. And I would go home with a new magazine to drool over. Now that said, let me grab these that are just sitting here that also came in the mail recently. I have more of these, so if you want to see some more, let me know in the comments. And subscribe if you're new. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys on the next one.